Hello and welcome to another episode of Insurtech Business Series. First off, I want to say thank you to all our listeners from around the world. You guys have been great, and today we are having another amazing session, and I'm not alone. As you know, my name is Damola Oloko.
And my name is...
So how are you doing for me? The guest that we are having today, what are you looking at?
I've gone through his profile, and he's a man packed with a lot of experience in the insurance industry. I've seen, even though he had gone out of the industry at some point, but I've seen that he knows his onions. Having to have worked as a strategy person, a corporate, in different insurance companies, I know that, yes, I'm excited about what I'm about to hear today. It's going to be very, very, very educative and intriguing. I can guarantee.
Yeah, we're going to be having Mr. Ekerete Olagamikon. He is an administrator, a business thinker, consumer advocate, digital native, economist, a financial advisor, and a giver. That's what his LinkedIn says, and I've known him for a while, and I follow him online. He's very active on LinkedIn and on Twitter, and talks about the insurance industry. So it's going to be interesting to hear his point of view and how we can move forward. Especially with COVID-19 and looking at the opportunities that there are for the industry. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the conversation as well. And without further ado, would join him up after this short break. Thank you and welcome to Insurtech Business Series. We just want to start up with you. So tell us, who is Ekerete Olagamikon and what motivates him?
Okay, thanks so much, Damola. I'm happy to be here and indeed feel privileged to be on this global platform you've created. So let me first of all commend you and then tell you that Ekerete Olagamikon is a consultant on insurance and entrepreneurship. And I graduated with an economics degree from the University of Calabar in 1988. Became a member of the Nigerian Institute of Management in 2003 and a certified process manager in 2010 and an associate of the Risk Management Society in 2019. I started my insurance experience with Leadway Assurance in 1990. After Leadway, I went on to Mutual Benefits as a pioneer staff. That was in 1995. And have worked with a couple of other insurance companies, Central Insurance, First Chartered Insurance, Cornerstone Insurance, Capital Express, Guinea Insurance, So it's been that's why I call it an experience. I've seen the good, I've seen the bad and the ugly side of insurance business. And there is no broker that I haven't come into contact with in Nigeria. The insurance industry has been left far behind. So what's my passion? My passion is to really see as many Nigerians as possible adopt insurance as a lifestyle, because it's a shame when people go through pain, go through things, and then you look at it and you simply feel, insurance could have helped this situation. We see great Nigerian actors, actresses, we see great Nigerian stars in sports and other aspects of our lives, struggling through life after they have excited all of us. And then you wonder, what happened? How come nobody saw the need to put insurance in place for these wonderful people? So it's still happening today that we all have to go cap in hand, practically begging for contributions to save the lives of these people. Something that, should actually not happen if insurance had been adopted as a lifestyle.
It's quite interesting to hear you speak and about your experience. I mean, working with Leadway. I mean, Leadway being one of the biggest insurance companies at the moment, and also Mutual Benefits, who are very big at retail life products.
So,
so what do you think the future holds for the insurance industry?
Okay, so I think the future is very bright for the industry, but I will tell you the future has kind of always been bright for insurance in Nigeria. When we talk about potentials in the insurance in Nigeria, insurance has got huge potential, and it's been that way in the last decade or two. Interestingly, the industry players, to my mind, don't seem to be going for the opportunities. Whenever the discussion comes up about what can we do, everyone begins to talk about what government should do. Everyone begins to talk about what the other one should do. But hey, today, thanks to technology, we are seeing the need to build, collaborative platforms where we can bring people in and really have the opportunity of letting them know what insurance can do for them. The spirit to therefore engage is still lacking. And that's why I am on a personal campaign to say, look, we don't have to wait to be called. We've got to engage. Let's go out there and extend a hand to those that need help. And they will always remember who helped them and respond to what you need them to do. In this case, insurance. You see, insurance is struggling in Nigeria, to my mind, because, how can we be talking about 2 years ago, 2008, the entire industry made 417 billion naira, all right, in gross written premium. That is what 4 leading banks declared as their profit after tax. So you begin to see the work that needs to be done. And that's why I'm saying to us in the business of insurance that let's stop struggling and let people who have certain things that we are looking for work with us so that we can move this thing forward. 0.3% contribution to GDP is unacceptable. It's unacceptable. Insurance can certainly do more than this. And I'm answering the question of how every day. I'm giving the answer of one word, and that's collaboration.
I was going to poke your mind as regards collaboration. COVID-19 has come and actually just given us a reality check, And so how do you think that technology can actually help, in terms of that collaboration? Because the industry has been here before, and collaboration is really not a new word.
Okay, so let me say it this way. Like you've also mentioned, the industry has been here, technology has been here, collaboration has been here. However, the industry has only been increasingly investing in technology probably in the last decade, to be honest. What we've had before now has been attempts to automate the business, and we haven't quite arrived there before this whole disruptive technology came. And I need to explain this way. You see, we were working in the insurance industry when we had volumes of papers to deal with. You needed to see us go out for meetings with clients. We will practically go with the entire hard file so that if any question comes up, we are opening through the file to see where the issue that has been raised is. And that is what also happened with the broking business. You needed to see a broker going to a client for renewal meetings. 2 people have to follow the lead executive who is going for that meeting with tons of files. Now, we moved from there to a time when you could have all those files in your phone. You would also noticed that even though the insurance companies were investing in technology and indeed engaging people with the knowledge and skills of technology into their organizations, they were still not out there in the communication with people. So people were still having challenges with getting to relate with the insurance companies. Because as we speak today, you and I can almost name the chief executives that have one social media account or the other. Now, a lot of people are, out there on the internet and all of the social media platforms doing whatever they are doing. Where are the insurance guys? That is just to tell you where things are. So what has happened with COVID-19, social distancing and staying at home and all of that is that it is now that a lot of people in the industry are coming on board. And even when they are coming on board, some of them have actually refused to, expose themselves to everybody that is online because of the natural fear of, I don't know what this guy will say to me, I don't know this guy, and things like that. So this is not the time to be getting familiar. This is the time to do business. So that's where the challenge is. And one who has been familiar with the terrain and has been using it is certainly going to enjoy an advantage over the ones who haven't been there. Yeah. Because no matter how old you have been in the industry, what is happening now is that it's a new terrain altogether. So even if you had done 50 years before and you were not online, you're coming online today, you will feel funny because you're going to meet people who have been online longer than yourself. Yes. And yes. You probably expect them to show you some respect, and they are not in any mood to show you respect because there's no respect on this platform, on this street, yes, like they say. So and if you don't have that respect, you're going to feel that, oh, these guys are rude. So you're going to go back. But that is the world we live in today. People do not really care what you have done, where you are coming from. They are looking for delivering the solution to me now. Do you have it? You don't have it, I move on. So one of the challenges we have currently is that even when people have been enlightened about insurance and told the need for insurance and they agree, where do they go to for insurance? So it's still a gap, and therefore an opportunity for the tech guys to then be able to provide, this kind of platforms that will connect people. So the platform is there for the connections to happen. The platform is there for you to bring the information that you have to them. The platform is there for you to answer to their questions and give them a wonderful experience. But we are not using it as much as we should. Because as you may have heard in insurance in Nigeria, we like to cry foul. Oh, we were the ones doing this business some years ago. It was taken away from us. And I say, hey, we shouldn't be telling these stories anymore. You can't be telling someone you had something and it was taken away from you. And so if we're not careful, another part of what we are doing could be taken away because we are not in the right place to engage the right people and retain their friendship, relationship, however you want to put it. Why can't I buy insurance for just a trip I want to make with my car? Why can't I buy insurance for just 1 month? Now, before COVID-19, you could have heard that, oh no, insurance is sold for 1 year. But hey, you can see what's going on now. Some insurance companies are responding by saying, you can pay your premium now and get 2 weeks waiver. You can pay your premium now, and you can come back and get some premium back from what you have paid. So there are things that are happening now that were not happening before. So I'm sure very soon we are going to hear that you can do insurance for your car for only 1 week. Right. Usage-based insurance is already there. And you can enjoy this. there are all sorts of things going on which we can do right now. We don't have to wait. Telematics is there, and I'm happy that in the health insurance sector, a lot is going on in terms of how technology can be used, to let people buy insurance and enjoy the value for their insurance. So it's no longer about the old approach we used to apply in selling insurance. Oh, the law says. It's no longer about the law says. And that's why I say people should stop talking about enforcement, because, you can't enforce what you have not even identified. It is now a case of how many more customers can you bring on board who were not doing insurance before. Because, Like I said earlier, for all the insurance that we have done over the years, we are still not able to do more than 1% of our 200 million population. So that's where the opportunity is.
Our battle is not for the ones that we already have. It's for the opportunities out there. So when you're even looking at the opportunities for even insurance companies, they should be looking wider.
I like the fact that you stated that the entire amount we made in the insurance industry wasn't even up to the profit after tax made by some, top organizations, which it's a growing concern for us. But then you also mentioned collaborations with, agri-tech, fintech, and all of that in that space, especially the health insurance. So I know that in recent times, we have been seeing some collaborations between fintechs and insurance. We have companies like Ella just came up during COVID-19. We had Carbon with, AXA Health. Yeah. So I wanted to ask, what do you think? And what is the prospect for increasing penetration? Do you think all of those upcoming fintechs will be able to, provide insurance solution to our industry?
The answer is yes. And I'll tell you why. Nigeria has got a young population. And when we talk about those that make up the 1% that are currently insured, remember that 80% of that are corporate organizations. Only 20%, in fact, less than 20% make up the individuals. And these individuals are having nightmare when it comes to claim settlement with a lot of insurance companies. So there is the huge youth population in Nigeria that do not have insurance, because whenever they approach the insurance companies with a desire to do insurance, they don't find any product that makes sense to them. And so what fintech is doing, and Insurtech, as we have realized, is to be able to create a familiar path for them to be able to, first of all, ask the questions and begin to give the companies that are serious about getting the products that will suit them to respond and begin to form the products that will suit them. If a young man says, I've got a phone that I bought for 100,000 naira. This phone is like my life. I do everything on it and I want insurance for it. Do you know that in the Nigerian market today is a challenge to get insurance cover for that phone?
Yes.
Yeah, because, the insurance industry players will tell you the experience that we have had in the past about insuring phone is that we don't know where the guy lives. The guy, how are we sure? And I say, come on. In this age and time, technology has made it possible for us to be able to know your location per time. So why can't we key into such platforms and be able to monitor the movement of this guy? When the guy says he lost his phone, you will know at any particular point what happened to that phone. It's possible. So if we want to do it, we will do it. But the work we have to do is not to try to bring insurance to technology, but we have to try and bring technology to insurance.
Hey, this is Brian Falchuk from Boston, Massachusetts in the United States of America. I want to give a shout out to the Insurtech business series, Falumi and Damola, what you are doing to help move the industry forward in the African continent, but also more broadly for the industry at large is so incredibly important. As I think about the future of our industry, it's conversations like the ones you're having that will help us move forward. So congratulations on the success of the show. Please keep at it.
Because I was going to ask, from the conversations you've been having with top executives, do you think that most of them would be open to this particular, technology adoption or product innovation, like you rightly mentioned, like gadget insurance, for instance?
The issue there is that there is something that they are used to, and getting them to move from what they are used to what we are discussing now, it's going to be a lot of work. Now, if someone is used to doing the insurance for Shell Petroleum and he knows the in and out of that particular thing he's doing, and Shell Petroleum pays him lots of money in thousands of dollars as premium, millions of dollars as premium, why would he want to break his head to move in this direction? But the issue is that if you don't attempt to fix it, technology as we know it will sweep you off your feet. And that will not be good. Now, so what some of them have done, which I have noticed, is that they begin to engage tech-savvy young people into their organizations so that these ones can speak the language of the young population that we have and begin to build a new path for the opportunities that exist in that area. So that's why you are seeing some changes in the products offering. And that's why when we look at it, we say the channels that we should use, which exist today, some of them have not even been tested. Don't forget, if the banks have made progress with fintech and you want to sell insurance today, using the bank assurance platform, you've got to be tech compliant, so to say, and so you see that where the opportunities are is where technology is. So is for those who do not want to see and follow the new opportunities, that you have the issues of, let's recapitalize and then let's have more money to do more of the oil business that are being taken abroad. And I'm saying, no, you've got a population that is not, even enjoying insurance cover. Statistics tells us in Nigeria that we've got over 45 million micro, small, and medium businesses. Believe me, these guys don't have much business with insurance. The stories that they have heard is that insurance companies don't pay claims. So it's really in front of the industry to either innovate or die. Because the traditional insurance companies, I remember, Damola, we met at that event last year where I said it has ended. It's the end of it. They've seen all of it. Now, if you must know, some companies will try to do retail, which requires the investment in technology, but somehow they don't have it in their DNA. They have been too used to doing brokers business that when brokers hear that they want to invest on online platforms that will enable customers deal with them directly, the brokers will simply all the brokers have to do is tell them, I hear that you are investing. They say, no, it's not like that. It's not, because they want to continue to enjoy the friendship of the brokers. So sometimes it's a matter of what drives you. Is it the opportunity that drives you or the fear? So the fear keeps you in one place, but the opportunity will, I am hoping that we will be able to see a lot of collaboration between insurance brokers and insurance companies using technology. Because if you may know, a broker may have a corporate account, let's say a big corporate, a conglomerate that has 5,000 employees. Now, besides the group life, that the broker has brought to the insurance company for those 5,000 employees, I can tell you the other personal insurance needs of those employees are done elsewhere. So if you have a collaboration between an insurer and the broker that is managing that kind of account, it means those 5,000 employees can also use that platform to do and meet their personal insurance needs.
Okay. So where do you think the regulator comes into play in all of these things? I mean, like you rightly mentioned, if technology is not part of your DNA. I mean, we're having a conversation earlier in one of our previous episodes with the Chief Information Officer of Nigerian Life, and he rightly mentioned, I mean, that if technology is not part of, the management's plans, then it will not work. So what do you think? I mean, as NICOM is the driver of the industry, so what do you think NICOM's role will be in all of these things in order to see the insurance industry that we want to have?
Now, thank you for that question. NICOM's role, to my mind, is to create an environment where insurance is promoted. Now, in creating that environment using technology, my expectation, which I have mentioned elsewhere, is can NICOM do the work of giving the industry what I will call the benchmark? Now, NICOM, as we speak, had said to us that they would digitize all of their operations. And we are hoping that COVID-19 has not disrupted that plan. Now, what that plan will do is, therefore, that NICOM, having become digitized, will be setting the environment, the pace for other entities that are relating with them, brokers, insurance companies, agents, and everyone, to relate with them only on that basis. Now, I tell you, the number of times that CEOs of insurance companies have to travel from Lagos to Abuja to meet with NICOM is something that is unthinkable before COVID-19. Now, but even with COVID-19, I can tell you there have been attempts to sit down with NICOM, forgetting that today you can sit down with NICOM through Zoom and other platforms. All right? So you therefore find out that if NICOM itself does not say, don't come to me, relate with me online, then it has not set the industry to use technology. That's the point I'm trying to make. So if NICOM, as we also hear, is meant to do risk-based supervision, which means they are getting the information online real time, then it means that once they do that, they will then be able to force the insurance companies to have the appropriate technology to be able to sustain that approach. So, as far as I can see, NICOM just needs to set the path and say what they expect, for the insurance industry for the insurance players to respond. But let me also remind us that in circumstances that we have seen, in other cases that we have seen, it's so much that the regulator is trying to catch up with the operators. And it gets to that point where the operators will now see that the regulator has caught up with them and they have to devise other means to survive. But in insurance, we seem to see everyone waiting for the regulator. And the regulator is not the one that is looking for business to grow.
Right.
So we should indeed have more of the insurance companies going ahead and indeed, if you like, trying to break the rules and pay fine just to satisfy customers than always seek to clear from the regulator, can I go or should I wait for you? Because that's part of
the regulator will always be behind. You will always want to be cautious.
Yeah. So that's what you get, and that behavior, to my mind, has got to change. If it doesn't, then we might just be doing the same thing and expecting a different result.
Right. Yes. So moving on to, the whole lockdown situation and COVID-19 and likes. For me personally, I see it as a blessing. Why? Because I've been a part of a lot of engagements, about insurance in Nigeria and even outside. There's been a lot of conversations, handled by, the FinTech NGR, CIFM, and also FITC. Do you share the sentiment with me that this lockdown is a blessing, considering the fact that some of these conversations have been kicked off, or do you envisage that we might just be seeing more of the same after?
Damola, the real question is, do we see opportunities or do we see fear? Now, so for me, I have also been a part of some of those discussions, and I have heard some very fantastic things that have been said, in terms of, I said to you earlier that the insurance sector in Nigeria has held a lot of potentials for decades. So we see a lot of potentials, but the real issue is there is someone somewhere that it will seem the whole stakeholders are looking at for action, and that's the National Insurance Commission. In one of the webinars that I participated, I remember the commissioner saying that they are ready to go and do a lot of things. How they are hoping that they will be able to change the laws guiding insurance operation in Nigeria. Now that gave me a bit of concern, because I have also looked at the laws. I've also looked at the laws, and I'm saying, hey, some of the things that are in the current law, we have not even done. Compulsory insurance for you doing your insurance for your vehicle. If you don't do it, there's a fine. It's in the law. If you don't insure your public building, there's a fine. It's in the law. If you don't do insurance for your health professionals, it's in the law, and all of that. If you don't do insurance for your marine cargo, it's in the law. It's a fine. So, what is the new law going to bring that will now make us do this?
But so don't you think
I'm just saying, yes, please go ahead.
Don't you think that the amendment of the law might usher us into that digitized era we're looking for? I know that most of what we've had with NICOM has been more of enforcement on insurance industry rather than other stakeholders like clients, customers, the other regulatory bodies as well, in terms of the Federal Road Safety Commission and the likes of it. But don't you think that in terms of amendments, it's going to come with all of these opportunities and adequate enforcement, judging by the fact that we even have a new commissioner in that space?
Follow me. The issue there is, have you seen the amendments? If you have seen the amendment to know what is in there, then it would be nice to have that discussion about the impact it can have on other stakeholders. I had the privilege of seeing that amendment, and I can tell you one thing that is in that amendment that is significantly different from what we have now is the issue of enforcement. Whereby the commission will have at the very high level in the organization will have somebody in charge of enforcement. And so I'm saying, like we're discussing now, there is nothing digital in that amendment. Because that amendment that we have been following since 2016, did not come back for any kind of correction or further amendment. So if it comes out as we speak today, I stand to be corrected. It will not refer to digital insurance. No, it won't. So the issue is, if we need to have guidelines like we have had for other things in the industry, let's have the guidelines. There's no need trying to, play around the issue of amendments as if the amendments will just speak and then people will go. But the beautiful thing is that insurance is a different message. That's the point I'm trying to make. We need to let people know that insurance creates wealth, insurance protects wealth, insurance generates wealth. So we need to sell it that way so that we don't need to force people to do insurance. If I am driving my car and I've got a third-party cover on my car, and you have a third-party cover on your car, we're all safe on the road. If something happens, your own protects me, my own protects you. It's a simple message. So why don't we spend our resources to send that message to all Nigerians and let them know? There are over 12 million registered cars in Nigeria, and only 2.5 million of those cars have genuine insurance cover. So those are the things that we need to spend a lot of time on. The law will not do it for us. That's the point I'm trying to make. We need to sell value.
Hi, everybody. My name is Bent, and I'm the founder and CEO of Mtech, and we are based in Kenya. I am very passionate about the disruption of the Insurtech space, and together with our model Mtech, we are actually serving insurance platform and also white label solutions for the industry. Please keep on listening to Insurtech Business Series podcast, and I hope to see all of you at the conference in December.
Hey, this is Brian Falchuk from Boston, Massachusetts in the United States of America. I want to give a shout out to the Insurtech Business Series, Falumi and Damola, what you are doing to help move the industry forward in the African continent, but also more broadly for the industry at large is so incredibly important. As I think about the future of our industry, it's conversations like the ones you're having that will help us move forward. So congratulations on the success of the show. Please keep at it.
Okay, so with what you said, I wanted to even that's my next question, because I've realized that the majority of us in the insurance space, we are more concerned about the numbers. We are more number based. We want, of course, the whole principle of insurance is to have a pool where we are able to, cover for some of those insurance expenses and other things. So I was going to now I'm coming to my question. I'm asking about your thoughts around how insurance should operate. I believe that insurance should come from a value-oriented point of view, as you've rightly mentioned, in terms of selling the value of insurance to customers. So what are your further thoughts on that particular base, rather than having just numbers in terms of pool and all of that?
The truth of the matter is that we are not even doing the numbers. I don't know. Let me explain what I mean. The statistics that we should use to drive our businesses is in front of us, but we're not using them. A lot of companies are not cross-selling. Because everyone is just going out there and saying, bring the premium. And don't forget, we are spending a lot as an industry to bring in this premium, which is usually not enough because of the bastardization of the rates that, as we have done, to even create reserves and enable us pay claims. So if we were working with the numbers, this is what we will have. We will know how many policyholders we have today in Nigeria, because NICOM receives information from all insurance companies periodically. So why is it difficult to have an announcement of how many policyholders we have. Because if we know today, sometimes when I check from the NIA, I get different figures from NICOM, and sometimes it's disturbing, because if you so when you look at the numbers like you were saying, you find out that you cannot walk into an insurance company today, and I also will stand to be corrected, and ask them how many policyholders do you have, and you have a straight answer. That's where it starts from.
That's true.
That's where it starts from. So if we have those numbers, we will now be able to know how many female, how many male, how many people between the ages of 18 and 25, how many people between the ages of 50 and 60. Oh, those are numbers. How many people have only motor? How many people have only health? And those are numbers. So, but what you have and what we have had in decades is that we will know how much we have done from oil and gas. We know how much we have done from motor. We know how much we have done from fire. That's how the regulator has been getting the reports, and that's how the report has been in the financials. So we have to do more than that with the numbers. And insurance all over the world has got the most data that you can expect to have from any individual. Because once you send an individual to go and do medical examination, he's coming back with a lot of information on himself. So again, if we are talking about identity management, insurance should be in the front of it. So the kind of collaboration I was talking about earlier is such that you could see insurance collaborating with Identity Management Commission, and the people that we are going to meet for insurance business, we could be asking them, do you have identity number? It is when you have identity number that we can now say, okay, we are doing insurance for you. That is what I expect to see.
You talked a lot about the need for data, and it's one of the things that really are struggling with in our industry. We really need to be doing more with data, because we had a conversation with Adi Kaimowitz, who runs Virtual Actuary. So they are an actuary company, but they operate virtually. And he told us about how the South African industry has grown. He's based in South Africa because of the level that they have maximized the data that they have. And, with data, they're able to create products that suits, the customer very well. And it goes a long way. If we begin to talk about data, that's something that we can continue to for a long time. But, I wanted to ask about this. So, recently, the president of Nigeria, mentioned the insurance industry, commended the insurance industry for their contribution towards the COVID-19 pandemic, providing life insurance cover for frontline workers. I think that is a win, and it has given, in a way, the presidency has noticed us. So my question now is that, how can we actually take advantage of this and create, show that we are more relevant? Because I follow you, and I see that you mentioned some time ago about the fact that you have an economic stabilization committee, and then insurance is not even on that table. So how do you talk about stabilization when you don't have a risk management professional or body on that table? So how do you think that we can actually take advantage of this?
Thanks so much, Damola, for this question. I think the insurance industry may not quite have defined its strategy in going towards that fantastic moment of contributing to COVID-19 and getting the presidential commendation and what will happen thereafter. Because if, like you said, we had that commendation from the president, it is what you do with that commendation that matters, not the commendation itself. Now, my expectation, and I sounded this out I actually did send messages to different industry leaders that this is our moment. Come on, let us go. Now that the president has mentioned, we should be everywhere answering questions and communicating the right information. Let me tell you what has happened. The industry has made it possible for 5,000 health workers and professionals to access, insurance during this period. All right. Deaths have happened to health workers, by the way, since that time. Yes. Now, what has insurance said about that? Do you know that? The president of one of the medical bodies came out and actually spoke very damningly about the insurance package put in place by the federal government? So, my concern has been that this is not the first time we will be given an opportunity to showcase ourselves, and we have slipped away. But it goes back to the issue I mentioned earlier. Are we looking for opportunities, or we are living in fear? If we're looking for opportunities, that was an opportunity. Do you know how many times we have expected insurance to show up when the market gets burnt, or when there is a major issue of public concern somewhere and insurance did not show up? So it will seem that we're not looking at the opportunities. But here is what we should do. If we were looking at those opportunities today, we ought to have followed up, made a position, industry position. I always tell people that NICOM is government, so don't count NICOM as part of industry. NICOM is government.
Yes.
So let the institute, CIIN, NIA, NCRIB, the brokers body, ELAN, the loss adjusters body, come together, make a letter proposing the fact that you are willing to do more. That is the kind of thing that could possibly have given the president an idea that you should be part of the Economic Stabilization Committee. And don't forget, that letter would have had to pass through the finance minister, who is in the center of everything that is going on now. Because the National Insurance Commission will get it and take it to the finance minister, and the finance minister will have to take it to the president. All right? So, we have the opportunity, but we seem to be timid. And it's affecting every other thing. Because when you see a battle in front of you and you find out that your leader is not ready to go for the battle, there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do. So that's where things are. And I'm saying they have also been different commendations at different levels. We need to follow them and not wait until we are called. The industry needs to be proactive, not reactive. Strategy is key. Research and development is key. And those are things that you don't find in many organizations because they're not bringing the numbers that Pulumi referred to. But that is where it starts from. That's where it starts from. That's where it starts from. We should have the institute begin to work on changing the subjects that they teach people about product development, policies, the kind of things that we put in policy documents should start from the institute. We should begin to change it so that these people that are being taught will go back to their companies and change those things. Everything in life is a process. It can't just happen. It must follow a process. So, but if you ask me where is it going to start from, companies sit down and try to develop products. They think customers will like this. They think customers will like this, and then they take it to the National Insurance Commission for approval. Hey, what process did it go through? It's got to go through a process. And sometimes the approval takes a long time. By the time the thing comes out, it's been overtaken by different changes in the economic dynamics. That's what you get. So I do think that there's a lot we can do. Where it is when the actuaries have done their work. I think for a long time we have just been in the industry. We had just been just getting the stamp of the actuaries. But now I'm happy that the commissioner, who is also, well versed in this area, has committed himself to ensuring that, the market develops better on that path. Because my understanding is that when the actuaries have done their work, you will even know from the work that they have done which product is doing well, which one is not doing well, which one should be sold where and which one should be sold elsewhere. All those things come into play. And because of the nature of Nigeria, which is very diverse, you cannot sell the same policy that you are selling in Lagos to somebody in Kano. Come on.
Yes.
And when are we going to start selling policies in local languages in Nigeria? So these things are there for us to do. And I'm hoping that as we engage the technology side of the business, we'll begin to put all of these kind of things in place and make it a lot easier for people. I mean, I go to my ATM, I want to take cash, it's asking me which language. Yes, that's interesting. I pick up the phone to make a call, and it's asking me which language. But in insurance, I don't know. I mean, you still find insurance companies telling you on their website that their business closes by 5 p.m. We have closed for the day. And I'm saying, in this age and time, especially given COVID-19, why do you need to tell me that we are closing? When indeed you are not closing. At least if the office, physical office is not working, there's somebody to pick up the number that you have put there and attend to me. So the truth is that we are not closing. So why do you keep allowing the message to be there that you have closed for the day? So these are little things that we need to deal with. Communication is a big issue in insurance. It's not effective.
Yes, I get you, and there are a lot of things that, as part of the reasons why we are having conversations, to ignite those conversations, let people, okay, this is the situation, let's talk around it and find a solution. And we try as much as possible to talk to people in the industry, and we are looking at also engaging NICOM as well, so from the regulatory point of view, what should the industry expect? These are the things that the industry is grappling with. How do you come in? So we definitely are looking at all these conversations. Well,
please, when you speak with them, tell them to promote the industry and stop trying to protect the industry.
Okay, but sir, do you think that this promotion won't come from claims management systems as well? Because the majority of what our customers complain about is the fact that insurance companies don't pay claims. And of course, if we're not in the face of everybody, as you've mentioned, in terms of communications and all of that, it's not possible for us to, take that to our customers to say, you know what, we are prompt and we pay claims. But people are oblivious of that fact, and generations past, people they've carried on that legacy or that perception that insurance companies don't pay claims. So what exactly do you think we can do for that particular claims management system, and in terms of promoting the insurance industry? Do you think we should come from that bit, or how exactly do you want to?
So this is what I have said about this situation. The industry got saved about 8 years ago when the National Insurance Commission insisted that the no premium, no cover must work. The industry was under a heavy burden of premium outstanding. And that thing had been in the law for about 8 years. It's not like it was new. It had always been there. Today, when we speak about claims, I'm saying that for the industry to survive, we must address the issue of claims. And it is also already there in the law. It's clear what should happen when a company that has got claims and cannot pay, is there. However, because of the nature of our regulation, which, like I said earlier, is trying to protect the industry, we have seen that when customers have gone through pains with their insurance companies and they go to the National Insurance Commission to complain and hope for resolutions, in fact, they come off losing confidence in the industry because they see a situation where the regulator has heard all that we have said and has agreed with us that this situation is bad, but cannot discipline or sanction or penalize that insurance company. It's happened too many times. Now, I have said to people that insurance companies pay claim, but it's unfortunate the way people even buy insurance. People buy insurance not because they have done any investigation. They just meet people who approach them and say, I have this product, please help me buy. I just want to meet my target and all of that. And they buy. A 10-year product, is that the way you buy it? So you now buy it and you forget it with the company without finding out anything about the company because the guy is your only contact to the company. And then someday something happens and the guy tells you he's no longer in the company. And it's okay, how will I be paying my money? He tells you how you will continue to pay the money. 10 years, you approach the company to get your, what we call surrender value. And the company says, sign here. Your check will be sent to you or your payment will be made. And that statement of your payment will be made now takes 8 months, 9 months. Completely unacceptable. So what the law has said is that the policyholder who's got a claim outstanding can approach the National Insurance Commission and indicate that he or she should be paid from the company's deposit with the central bank, statutory deposit with the central bank. The law says that. I have done some work with some claimants trying to help them get their claims. Sometimes also some of them are not ready to go all out to get it. You can't blame them because their issue is that when I paid my premium, I was not exposed. Why do I now have to be exposed when I want to collect my claim?
True.
So it's a lot of pain, and I have seen very senior executives in different organizations who had life policies being made to look like small boys because of claims. It's really unfortunate. So I have proposed elsewhere that look, the law also provides that from the Security and Development Fund of the National Insurance Commission, people who are owed claims, life claims, can be paid. It's there in the law. But I have also seen in other markets where they have set up what we call Policyholders Protection Fund, where the regulator setting up that fund with a view that should the insurance company not be able to pay the claim, they will pay from that fund and subsequently take the money from the insurance company. Now, that is when you are putting the policyholder in front of you as
promoting instead of protecting.
Precisely. So that happens, and it is indeed in that sense that you can begin to see improvements in the experiences of customers and growth in the business itself. Because, like you said, the negative story that has moved from one generation to another can now be changed, and you begin to hear positive stories about insurance. And don't forget, when these people are struggling to get their claim, the moment they get their claim, they will swear never to come back to insurance.
Yeah.
Yes.
The claims issues are in front of us. I'm saying the way we use no premium, no cover to save the industry, we have to use no claim, no approval of your accounts to save the policyholders. Because I mean, it doesn't make sense. Yes, I know that claims is a part of insurance business. There's no way you can divulge claims from insurance business, but not when a company is owing claims for over a year, over 9 months, over 6 months. Such a company should be made to go and pay that claim before they get approval of their accounts to be able to do business the following year.
So, on the final note, I know that you recently had a session for insurance marketers, and yes. I mean, I was happy to be a part of that, and I really enjoyed the session.
I was happy to see you there.
Yeah. So, just briefly, what was the motivation behind having that session, and how do you think that marketers can actually remain relevant post COVID-19, post the lockdown?
Okay, thanks. The motivation was having reviewed continuously the challenges of the industry. I saw a gap. The gap being that insurance marketers do not have a point of meeting where they discuss the challenges of the industry, the economy, as people who meet the customers and who take the customer stories back to the companies. And the other thing that made me to have that engagement was the fact that you see a lot more collaboration amongst bankers who are marketing customers, even than insurance marketers. But note that a bank can take all the money of a customer and swallow it and put it in the bank. Does not need to share it with anybody. But insurance, you can't swallow the business on your own. You have to share the risk. So it's ironical that the people that can swallow it all together collaborate more than the people that can share it. So I then said it was important to bring this to everybody's attention and then understand that the responsibility for increasing the number of people that have done insurance is that of the marketing people. Because they meet the customers, they meet the prospects, you know. But more than that, there is the challenge in the industry where they are insurance marketers, they are brokers, and they are agents. Now, all of these people, including the CEOs of insurance companies, are marketers. And in fact, in some insurance companies, they will tell you that we are all marketers. You have to sell insurance, right? But the issue is there is no convergence. There is no agreement on what we should market, how we should market it. So if you had a customer meet two insurance marketers, that customer will be left confused because you walk in and say to the guy, okay, you've got your car, you want to insure. The first thing that comes out of the mouth of one marketer is that I'll give you 3%. And the other guy says, I can give you a discount. How much discount? He say 80% discount. So the way we present ourselves at the end of the day leaves the customer confused. But the customer is not only confused, when he needs to do it, he will then take advantage of us. And he will quickly grab the guy who said 2%. And at that point, nobody's talking about claims. He delivers the document, he pays his premium. Document has been delivered. It's only when a claim occurs that the guy will now know that he made the wrong choice.
Mm-hmm.
But why are we having reduction in rates in motor business anyway? What's the value? There's no value beyond the matter that pay the price that you have to pay, and then we take the money back to our companies. So we've got to engage marketers more. And I'm also thinking that when we speak about data, we have got to have data-based marketing. Why would you go out without knowing who you are going to see, how you are going to see the person, and begin to discuss the kind of product that will match the person's needs? Till today, of course, everybody is available one way or the other online. It's either the guy's company or the guy himself. So why would you leave your office and say, I'm going to see somebody, and you go and see the person? Maybe the person is not married, and you say you want to sell a policy for the person and his family. It's still happening till today. So those are the issues we have. Training is so key, but a lot of the time you find out that insurance companies do training for the internal staff and not the market-facing staff, which are the marketers. I don't even want to talk about agents who have been abused and used and kept in one corner. They are the ones who meet marketers. They are the ones who meet customers, and they are the ones that customers describe as not looking good and all of that. But they bring back the money. They struggle all through that to bring back the money. But the guy who is a marketing person engaged by the company, I mean, I've gone through that experience. I got a car. The company is giving me a car, and to go out, I see agents on the road. I go past them. Sometimes the agents bring results before I even get back to the office. So we've got to have a huge national discussion on the role of marketers in insurance. That's why I did that event, and that's what the intention is going forward. Because COVID-19 is now giving us a new way of marketing. If you have a marketer who is not online, it might be difficult for the guy to make any progress. And like I said earlier, you don't come online today and behave like a novice. There's no time for training online. The guy is going to ask you questions, and I'll come back to you is not an answer. Because as he's talking to you, he's talking to somebody else at the same time. That's what technology has done for us. So, and as he's even talking to you, he's also comparing what you're telling him to what happens in other climes. So if your response is, I'll come back to you, sorry, the guy will not be available by the time you come back.
Yeah. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you indeed.
I've really enjoyed the session, and you can go on, and I
trust me.
Would still love to continue it. And I don't know about you, follow me.
Really excited we had you on our podcast. Thank you very much. It's been insightful, really, really insightful. There are some of the things that we probably didn't even have, knowledge of, and now I don't think I would say that I don't think I would remain the same.
Thank you very much for the insights.
Thank you.
I appreciate your time, and we're sure we'll continue the conversation, and so that we can see the industry that we dream of.
Yes.
So
I appreciate you.
Like
Thanks so much.
Said, there are opportunities.
Thanks so much.
Well, that was Mr. Ikereke we had on. I'm sure you enjoyed this particular conversation. It was interesting, it was engaging, it was educative. There's a lot we need to change in the industry, and that is evident from most of the people we've had conversations with on this episode. What do you think, Damola? Because I think that we need to move this industry forward. It has to be in the face of people, and a lot of people need to understand, or we need to change a lot of perception about the insurance industry. What do you think?
It just tells me that there are opportunities. There are opportunities in every area, in all areas of the insurance value chain. So it's just going to be a thing of willpower. So now, like he mentioned a lot of times, I mean, the insurance industry has shown potential over the years, But then what is most important at this moment is not about, riding on that potential, but actually doing the work. It's about action now. Just do it. Just like Nike says, just do it. That is what it takes at the moment.
Yeah.
We don't need the accolades. We don't need we have potential. We can do it. Let's actually do it and learn along the way. Because some of the things that the industry has experienced in the past, in terms of some products being taken away from it, that can become another situation as well in the future if we don't actually start taking action. But the opportunities there, and all stakeholders need to actually sit back and think about it and look at the fact that, hey, we don't have a penetration of up to 1%, and our contribution to GDP is equally not up to 1%. So that means that we are not competing over that more, but we are actually looking at opportunities. The pool is big for everyone to play in. So if we have that mindset, we'll be able to think of innovative ways of doing more, especially leveraging on technology. So yeah, it was really great conversation.
I even like the fact that you mentioned the regulatory in terms of, promoting the industry rather than protecting the industry as we've been used to over time. I think it's time for them as well to step up and see how well they can move this particular industry forward. We should be in the faces of our customers, and we shouldn't just bank on the 0.5 penetration we've had over the years. That's if it hasn't dropped at this time. All right, guys. So unfortunately, we won't be having our news segment because of our time, but we hope to bring you more updates in the industry and all of the things happening in the industry as well in subsequent episodes. So we apologize for that. But thank you again for staying tuned. You have helped to grow our podcast, and you've grown our listeners base. We are grateful for that.
Yes, thank you very much to everyone that has listened. I know that you'd have taken a thing or two away, and it's just about taking action individually and also as stakeholders, in the industry. So you can join the conversation as well by connecting with us online. On Twitter, you can follow us at Insure365N, or on LinkedIn, you can follow our page at Insurtech Business Series. So we can continue the conversations there and speak about how we can actually grow this conversation. And if you are listening as well, you can leave a voice message on the podcast page and as well share. Thank you very much, and catch you next time.